We have achieved something great. We have managed to achieve our election aim of a stable majority in Germany for a new government.
There is a constituency in Germany that wants reform, that wants lower taxes, that wants a more deregulatory agenda.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel had an impressive election victory on Sunday in Berlin. Her center-right party won, and she campaigned on lower taxes and a deregulatory agenda, as you just heard right there. As you take a look at their campaign pledge, Germany wants to take the tax rate there from 45% down to 35%. Compared to the U.S., we're at 35%, the highest rate there, up to 39.6% after the Bush tax cuts expire in 2011. We are back with the panel. So, Charles, is everyone else going right?
We're headed left into a kind of a social democratic model. Obama wants government involvement in healthcare and energy, etc. The Europeans who've lived under it for a few decades are moving the other way. They've seen it, and they don't particularly like it. Now, in Germany, what was so interesting is that the big winner was a third party, the Free Democrats, who are historically almost Anglo-Saxon. They were very much for the free market, lower taxes and regulation, and they tripled the amount of their support. The Christian Democrats, Merkel actually lost about 8%, but in coalition they have a majority and will have a strong, stable center-right, the government that will try to deregulate. The really interesting story is the Social Democrats, the socialists, were massacred, the lowest total since the Second World War, and they are in the wilderness for a long time. So what you have is you have Germany, France, Britain, the big three, all rejecting socialist parties. In France, of course, the socialists are reeling in disarray. And in Britain, the Labour Party today in an Ipsos poll is running third. It isn't even running second. If you had an election, it would be destroyed. So what you have is, interestingly, Europe moving left, enough experience with socialism, and America sort of undecided.
Nina.
I hate to throw too much cold water at Charles, but I will. I think before you get too excited about her new government, she also ran. She sort of stole the left's clothes and left them without a script, as one commentator put it. She came out in the financial crisis. She came out attacking big bonuses. She called for international more regulation of banks and so on. She in the past has supported the public service pension. Boosted the pension, and so I don't think she's a very cautious politician. And yes, they want tax cuts, but they're also facing a large deficit there.
So you don't see a major shift, Germany or elsewhere?
Wait and see.
I think it's a shift, but it's a gradual shift, and it's all relative, too. I mean, being a center-right government in Europe is a lot different than being a center-right government in the United States. I mean, France, the center-right government in France is in power right now, and yet 70% of people in France support President Obama or approve of the job that he's doing. So it's a very different thing. I don't think, free market types should go popping champagne corks quite yet. The far left in Germany also gained in this recent election. So I think what you're seeing more than anything is a more dramatic polarization of the electorate, which is something that's, I think, familiar to those of us here.
I would just open a beer on this one and no champagne.
No champagne, just a beer.
The big winner in Germany were the Free Democrats. The Social Democrats, Merkel declined. In part because of her tie to socialism. The improvement from 4% to 14% of the Free Democrats is astonishing, and it will result in less regulation and taxes. And look, a trend of the big three, of course, it's not going to end up like America, but it's a trajectory. It's a trajectory right, as we are apparently headed left. We're going to cross somewhere around midfield, I think.
But the Free Democrats are almost like, I would say that they're more akin to our Libertarian Party. I mean, they're certainly a very free market on economic issues, and they've pushed for much dramatic cuts in regulation, dramatic cuts, far more than Merkel has. But they're also on social issues are far more to the left of where conservatives here would be.
So quickly, does any of this affect how the Obama administration deals with these administrations that appear to be going?
Well, I think if you look at Afghanistan, at least it's a good news for the president. He's got the support of the Merkel government. I think that's on that front. It's a
Sarkozy and Merkel are very pro-American. Given the history of their countries, it's going to help us in whatever we try to do.
That is it for the panel.